my name is Shidij, and today for the short story presentation, my topic is semantic question matching on Quora. Basically, whenever we ask question on Quora, Quora gives us a suggestion that do you want to merge this question with some other question that have similar intent. So how does Quora do that? And that too in a fraction of second. So our discussion will we will discuss this thing in these slides. So the problem definition is that we have to detect duplicate questions. So given a pair of questions Q1 and Q2, we have to train a model that learn the function where one represents that Q1 and Q2 have same intent or zero otherwise. Uh, so with Quora, the thing is over 100 million people visits Quora every month. So it is no surprise that many people ask similar worded questions. Multiple questions with the same intent can cause seekers to spend more time finding the best answer to their question, and the writer feel that they need to answer multiple versions of the same question. So the Quora values canonical questions because they provide a better experience to active seekers and writers and offer more value to both of these groups in long term. So a simple approach in duplicate detection can be word-based comparison. For example, we can use standard information retrieval measures like TF-IDF to find the word-based similarity between two questions and then classify question pair with similarity scores above a threshold as duplicate. But if we want to detect duplicates at a more intent-based, or we can say semantic level, we need more intelligent approaches than these simple measures. So here there are two questions: how can I be a good geologist, and what should I do to be a great geologist? So these two questions have same intent, so we will fed these two questions in our training function, and since they have same intent, our training function should respond with one. So these are the sample questions that I have taken from the Quora test data set that they released last year. So these two are similar questions and these two are non-duplicate questions. So what kind of features can we have from the questions we are comparing? So it can be a length of question 1, length of question 2, difference in length of difference in the lengths of the two questions, or character length of question 1 without spaces, number of words in both the questions, and number of common words in both the question 1 and question 2. So uh, the the approach the Quora uses in their production system is they use a random forest model with tens of features, including the cosine similarity of the word to vector, and the number of common words and the number of common topics labeled on the question, and part of the speech tags of the word or the tags that the users have assigned to the questions. They also used recurrent neural network, or more specifically LSTM, that is long short-term memory network. That is also a variant of RNN, and they also use LSTM with distance angle. I will explain these two in the next slide. They also use decomposition attention method. So basically, decomposition is basically the concept of breaking down a system into smaller pieces, and the purpose of decomposition method is to break down a complex problem into smaller, less complex and more manageable sub problems that we can solve by using existing tool and then joining them together to solve the initial problem, uh, uh, just like we solve a big data problem using map and reduce functions. So uh, a thing about recurrent neural networks, they are simple neural networks, but they have loops in them, allowing them to persist the information. Like for example, when we human things, we don't start thinking from scratch, and our thoughts have persistence. Traditional neural networks can't do this, but recurrent neural networks can persist information in them. So on the left side, there's a diagram showing long short-term memory network with concatenation, and on the right side there is LSTM variant with distance and angle. So in long short-term memory network variant of RNN, uh, it is capable of capturing long-term dependencies. So what Quora does, they train their own word embeddings using Quora's text corpus, combine them to generate question embeddings for the two questions, and then fed those question embeddings into a representation layer. They then concatenate the two vector representation output from the representation layer and fed the concatenated vector to a dense layer to produce a final classification result. So this is done with the LSTM concatenation method. In LSTM concatenation with distance and angle, uh, the distance is calculated as sum of square of the difference of the two vectors, and the angle calculated as a element wise multiplication of the two vector representation, and that is the difference between these two. Rather than using concatenation, it uses distance and angle as a uh, uh, input to the dense layer. So here, uh, this is a table that shows the accuracy, precision, and recall and F1 score of the LSTM method with concatenation, LSTM with distance measure, and decomposition attention. And these are the references that I have studied from. Thank you.